This show is brought to you by Rebirth Radio. Radio. Get ready. We're going live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Voices of Virtue.
Every time you open your mouth to speak, something is supposed to happen.
Let our conversations always be wise and seasoned with salt, so that we may know how to answer others.
This is something special for you.
Voices of Virtue.
We're going to help those, let them know that they're not alone, not being afraid to speak, because you know what's hidden shall be exposed.
Voices of Virtue.
So keep your ears open, your eyes seeking, your tongue talking, because it will be powerful.
There is no such thing as failure. Failure is just life trying to move us in another direction.
Voices of Virtue.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome again to Voices of Virtue. Thank you all for tuning in on today. Thank you. Again, I want to thank you from Voices of Virtue and everyone that's involved. Thank you very much. This is your very own D. Reshort, brought to you by none other than Rebirth PR and Media and Shadows World Radio. Let's give it up for them, y'all, because without them, this wouldn't be possible. That's behind God. You already know that part. Again, we want to thank you all for tuning in today. We have an awesome show today. I love shows like this. It's like when we're talking about people that have come through tests and trials and now have reached that triumph part of life. I love it. It just makes my love even greater for people. But anyway, again, can't thank you enough for tuning in. And along with that being said, our guest today is Miss Lisa Nixon. Miss Lisa Nixon, you all. Miss Lisa Nixon, she is an entrepreneur, businesswoman. Early in her life, she began working at age 14, became a teenage parent, got through all of that, got married, opened her own business, and now she's empowering others with her gifts, her talents, her knowledge, her skills, and her abilities, y'all. And we just thank God for her today. And we're going to bring her on later. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about D before we go any further. For those of you who don't know, I am a little country girl from down a little town called Bachelor. That's in Louisiana. But I now reside in Baton Rouge. And I call that the middle of the boot. By profession, I'm a disaster recovery specialist. That was by my profession. By my passion, I'm the owner of Raw Fashions and Essentials and also health products. And by purpose, that thing that God created us for, we all were created for a purpose here. That purpose is to utilize this voice to help empower others. I call it hope, helping other people excel through voice. From where I've been taken from the pain to now, I call it pleasure. It is my pleasure to open my mouth and speak of virtuous things unto other people. And so, y'all, with that being said, we're going to continue to press forward. And so here, as we are now, we're bringing it to you, real, raw, and the truth, as always, but moreover so in love. Because we, here at Voices of Virtue, we welcome you in love. We welcome you. We want you to share the podcast. We want you to take notes. We want you to invite others, download it, and just make yourself comfortable. Get home, in your car, wherever. Just make yourself comfortable. Grab you something to drink, tea, water, juice, and we're going to enjoy the show. And with that, y'all, right now what I want to do, I want to bring on Miss Lisa Nixon. Miss Nixon, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Oh, so we're so glad to have you today. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you. Miss Lisa, look, I love it. I can't wait till we talk with this interview. But what I want you to do first, I want you to tell the people about Miss Telling about you, and then we're going to get into some questions for you. And before we do that, Miss Nixon, I want to touch on the trending thing while you're on right there and getting those thoughts together, what you want to tell the people. I want to talk about what's trending right now. Oh my God, y'all. Her name, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. Zahaya Aviant Guard. She makes a spelling history and other moments from the spelling bee. She's only 14 years old, right there in Harvey, Louisiana. Let's give it up, right here. She won on the word Morella. She had to spell Morella, and I'm going to spell it for you. Murraya. She became the first Black American to win the Scripps National Spelling Bee in almost 100 years of contest, y'all. If that ain't glorious, oh my God. And see, it don't even stop there. She broke so many other records. She had Victory Gave an extra power to Zahaya's already remarkable resume. Not only has she competed in spelling bees for 2 years, she also holds 3 Guinness World Records for dribbling, bouncing, and juggling basketballs, all before the 9th grade. Y'all, we got to give it up for the sister. That is awesome, and that needs to be trending for a long time. That is a blessing. Hats off to her. She deserves all the glory from God and his people. That is such a blessing. And so now, Miss Nixon, please, let's tell the people about you.
Well, my name is Lisa Nixon. I'm a mother of 2, Alex and Jalexis. My son drives trucks, 18-wheelers. My daughter, she's in nursing school at Southern. I have a grandbaby that is 5. I work, matter of fact, I work 2 jobs. I work 7 days a week. So, and I'm a businesswoman on the side. I wanted to, years ago I started, but I started doing decorating. And that was something like I really, I enjoyed doing it because helping people bring their vision to life, bring their dream to life. But it was like it was something else that I was missing because I love to encourage people. I love to empower people, because we all go through things. But I love to empower people. And so that's I'm going to say my daughter, she brought it out of me more because I used to post positive stuff every single morning. But she took it to another level where that goes to show you kids pay attention to everything you do. So she took it to another level. She created her own page, Pearls Empowerment, and then she even wrote a book. And she even pushed me to write my book.
Wow. Oh,
exactly.
That is amazing. That's a blessing all by itself.
Yes,
Thank you, Lord.
it is.
Oh, that is great. And can I tell you, Ms. Nixon, you want me to call you Lisa? What do you want us to call you?
Whatever you prefer, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, look, we're going to be all comfortable with this. Because, look, I'm going to call you Lisa, okay? You can call me too.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, Lisa, okay. As I was reading your bio, and I can relate to so many things in your bio, it was blowing my mind. I'm like, oh, my God, this is like an epitome of my life. And you spoke about, yes, you started work at an early age 14, and you also talked about being a parent at the age of 16.
Yes, ma'am.
Please touch us up on that. We want to go back to that at that point. And in your life as being a teenage parent, what would you say to anyone that may be in that status right now? Because we're not picking up on anybody that it will have, but those that may be going through it, because we never know who is listening and may need just that one word to encourage them.
Don't give up. Don't give up, because yes, I got pregnant at the age of 15. I had my son when I was 16. And I still continue to go to school. And I'm not going to tell nobody it wasn't easy, because it's like a struggle, because, my aunt raised me. My daddy's sister, she raised me from 3 months into adulthood. And she always instilled to me, you know, no matter, you know, when I got pregnant, yes, she was mad at me. She was upset. She fussed. But she told me, she said, you're going to finish school. And she said, you was entitled to this mistake. She said, but I'm right here for you. With her love and support, it helped me. But I wouldn't tell nobody, you know, it was always easy because, you know what, she taught me to be the woman I am today because I had to get up through the night and take care of that baby, but I still had to go to school. I had to make sure I was there, out of the house on time. I got a part-time job, you know, working, and that baby pushed me more. You know, it pushed me more because now I had someone depending on me. Wow. You know, that they needed me. He couldn't get no more than what I could give to him. And a lot of young kids that I do talk to, I do tell them that, you know, when I come across them being pregnant, you know, I tell them, you know, you can do anything you want to do. You know, you're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days, but you keep pushing. You think about that child that you have. You know, that child is dependent on you. So that's going to make you want to push more. Okay, this child needs me. I got to make sure my baby have this, you know. And I was on the system. I never forget, I was getting $138 a month in welfare. I can't remember. We was getting a few food stamps. But that wasn't something I wanted to be on. So I thrived. I got on. I started working part-time. I'll never forget. And with that part-time, you know, they were saying that the income, you know, was too much, so I was off of the system. But it took like a few years. But by the time I graduated from school, when I graduated from school, I was no longer on the system. And you look at it when they take the tax and everything out, it was still hard. But I done the best that I could because I didn't want my baby to go through what I went through. You know, it wasn't easy, but you could do it. Take one day at a time and don't give up.
You said something powerful right there. You can do it. That speaks volume by itself. You can do it. And when you were talking, Lisa, it just brought me back. Like I said in your bio, it's so many things I can relate to because my daughter was a teenage parent. And the thing that hit us hard, her dad was a preacher, and so there it goes. We caught it harder from the Christian folk, worse than the secular folk. It was so hard for her. And when I tell you what you said, it even empowered me just now, things you just said, is because it took me back to that, you know, you got to preach. You can't worry about what other people say. You got to focus on self. And like you said, you knew then you had somebody else that was depending upon you. Our daughter had to depend upon us. I'm so concerned about what the church folk going to think about us. I'm forgetting about, I got a child carrying, and her body is in a position where it's not even equipped, okay, all the way. She's still a minor. And God spoke to me in my sleep. He said, I am delivering you from people. And I woke up.
Yes.
I'm like, and I sit outside the bed. And I'm like, what? Okay. He said, watch her. Watch her. And long story short, because you want to hear more from you, Miss Lisa, I had to watch her because the enemy tried to creep in and abort that beautiful young grandbaby that will be 13 years old in 2 days. Now, here we are talking today. That's why we know God has everything already predestined and preordained we have for our life. You coming on today, Lisa, had no idea, I had no idea, we would talk about teenage pregnancy. And that little angel would be 13 years old that the enemy thought he was going to try and take. But when God said, I'm delivering you from people, I shut them off. It was all about him and my child, and our beautiful grandbaby, blessed, anointed, and chosen, and appointed. And I thank you for being who you are and encouraging others, Miss Lisa, because that's what hurts us when we have things. God has allowed us to go through things to help others, and that's what you're doing. You are helping so many people with your testimony, and now it's a triumph. Oh my God! Thank you, Father. Woo. And you know what, Miss Lisa? You already answered my next question. I'm still going to ask you because I know there's more to come out of you. The next question was going to be, who impacted you, who was like a mentor to you, and you spoke about that already. And was there ever a point you wanted to, you know what, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Yes, ma'am.
Answer those, you already stepped a little bit.
It was, yes, ma'am. It definitely was. It was, you know, it was many times, because it was many nights, to be honest with you, that I laid in the bed and I cried. You know, here it was, you know, my aunt took me in. You know, my aunt raised me from 3 months, like I say, my dad's sister. Okay, and then she was no longer able to work, you know, years later. So therefore, she was on a fixed income. So, you know, she was raising me. She had her son was in college, and she was raising me, and here I was, I got pregnant. You know, so it hurted me more. You know, she fussed, but it hurted me because, you know, I thought about how she raised me. She didn't do what she had to do. She didn't do what she did. You know, but she took me in. She raised me. She cared for me, and she loved me like I was her own. And here I got pregnant, so I felt like I disappointed her. You know, and it was like that was a heavy burden on myself. You know, it was time that I had bad thoughts in my head. But, you know, once she sat down and she talked to me, you know, again, and she must have saw this look in my face or whatever. Because like I say, it was nice. I laid in the bed and I cried. You know, I would get in the bed and I would start thinking. I was crying at this young age. You know, I'm crying. But, you know, once she talked to me and told me that I was entitled to, you know, everybody's entitled to a mistake, you know, but she said, you're going to finish school. You know, I'm going to help you with this baby. So by her being at home, that she's not able to work, so I didn't have to worry about daycare. She kept the baby every day. But when I got home, she gave me, I had my duty, so therefore I had homework. I had this baby to attend to. And, you know, sometimes I was upset because I felt like, it was a lot, but she was just making me responsible. She was just making me aware, you know, and I did. I wanted to give up, but I kept pushing through. Like I said, I took it one day at a time. It was not a piece of cake. Son today is 34 years old.
Oh,
that son.
Thank you, Lord.
He has his own. He's been driving 18-wheelers for 10 years, and he has his own trucking company. You know, and there's so many times that he have told me. The first time he told me, he came to me and he was like, "Mama, you just don't know how much I appreciate you." He said he remember, and this is what like really took me back, took a lot out of me. You know, I broke down. I didn't want to break down in front of him. He told me, he said, you remember that where there was Christmas, many Christmas, where him and Mama, where he called my aunt Mama, you know, because he was raised down with my, you know, mom. But he know the truth. He say, many Christmas, he say, we would be opening gifts and, you know, we sitting there happy and you sitting there laughing. He said, but you never not open one Christmas present. He said he was trying to find out how could he get someone to take him to the store to take some of his toys back just to get me a gift. And that took, let me tell you, when I tell you that took so much out of me, and that's why I tell people, kids pay attention to everything you do. You think they're not paying attention, but they're paying attention. And for him to tell me that, I'm like, wow. My baby, he's telling me this, you know, and I'm like, you remember that? He said, Mama, I remember. He said, I wanted to get you a gift, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it.
My goodness.
Yes.
At least I know you're right. Ooh.
And like my grandson now, you know, my daughter, those kids, they give me so much joy. So much, you know, nobody's perfect, but they give me so much joy, and they give me the strength to keep doing the things that I'm doing. You know, especially my grandson. You know, me and my daughter started studying together, but I started a line with my grandson. Just seeing, and he's just 5. You know, just talking to him and seeing the excitement in him. You know, it pushed me to keep coming up with ideas. You know, and then me and Simone got back together, so it's keeping me busy, and it's like I'm enjoying this part of now than, you know, I ever did.
Wow. And you know what, Lisa? It's going to go from glory to glory. Because
I receive it.
you haven't even tapped into the things that God has prepared for you. You haven't. There are times He even deal with you in your rest, in your sleep. And you may not even understand it, but in due season, it's all going to come to pass. And it's because of your humbleness. Because of your humbleness is why He's going to take you to that place. Some of the things He show you, it may seem like it's impossible, but you already know because you stand on Him that nothing is impossible with Him.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I see it going to another level, but we gotta keep it like this right now, and we'll talk. We'll talk. Thank you, Lord.
Man, yes.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Those of you that are equipped in Him, if He's equipped in you already understand. You already understand how He flows, and He is a God of order also. And Miss Lisa, okay, in your Bible, I read about you were married and then divorced. I want you to speak into the lives of those right now that may be anticipating on getting married or have gone through a divorce. Give them something to stand on. What did you learn in the marriage and also from the divorce that what you can instill into to help others out there? What have God you have gone through marriage and after marriage? You can help some others.
Well, through marriage, and it was somebody like I knew, but I feel like in the beginning, get to know the person. Don't rush into it, to be honest. Don't rush into being married. Get to know that person. That person could be just, start off as friends. Always, you feel that could be always your friend, your best friend, still your husband, your spouse, or however you want to say it. But get to know that person. Get to know the good, the bad. Sometimes I feel like I rushed into things. It was like things I didn't know completely. It was good for a couple of years, and then it became, it was toxic. It was like, it came to a place where I feel like I didn't know the person. And I feel like later on, I feel like, we should have waited, even though we knew each other. But, you can know a person just because you know them, say, oh, I know them, I went to school with them. But you don't know that person.
Wow.
So you have to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, you see the good side, but when you go through something bad, you got to know that side of the person too. No, every day is not going to be perfect. But,
wow.
If y'all have that, communication is the key to anything. I don't care whether it's a marriage or friendship, whatever. You have to communicate. You cannot just say, for instance, something go on, you have a disagreement or something, you just let it go on. Because I believe that right there, letting it go unsolved and not talk about it, not communicate about it, still a problem. You didn't correct that problem, so it's still a problem. If you don't, you have to. So I tell them, get to know, going through the divorce, it's not good, And to be honest, I tried to hold it together as long as I could because of my daughter. I thought maybe it would affect her. But, and I prayed and I asked, this is my words, I prayed and I asked God, if this marriage is for me, show me. If it's not, show me. And you have to be careful what you ask God for. You have to be asked because you may not be ready for what He show you.
Wow.
You have to be. You may not be ready. So I asked and I prayed for it. So one morning, to be honest, it was a disagreement. It was a big it was an argument, And my daughter was so calm. She came out the bathroom, and her exact words were, she said, "Dad, if you're not happy with me and Mom here," she said, "just leave and give Mom a divorce." I stopped and I looked and I was stunned. I think I was more shocked than anything because I couldn't believe my baby was saying this. I thought maybe, because it was her dad, she would be hurt and, this and that. I would have to go through things with her. But she was fine.
Wow.
And it was me. So that was my answer right there. When she said those words, and she went back in the bathroom brushing her teeth like nothing had, So later on, I talked to her, and I asked her, was she okay? She was like, yeah, Mom, I'm fine. I'm okay.
God.
Yeah, yes.
And so that goes back to
so get to know the person.
Mm-hmm.
Get to know them, the background, the history. Get to know them, you know. And that's not saying that it'll happen to everybody, but get to know the person. Be friends. Don't stop going out on dates. You know, compromise with each other. Communicate more than it. Make sure you communicate. Don't go to bed mad. You know, don't leave a problem unsolved. You know, you may not want to talk about it then. You could come back later, and when both of you all level-headed or calm down and say, okay, well, such and such, let's go ahead and talk about this and start this. Because that's still a problem. Then you're moving on to something else. You know, it's unsolved, and that just builds up. It just builds up.
Wow.
So,
that is so important, that communication. You said that was
very important.
Communication. Yes.
And it's amazing now. It's amazing now because we had a conversation like, it was a couple of months ago. And he told me, he said, everything that I told him, he see now. And I'm like, wow. You know, I didn't, to be honest, I didn't know how to answer that. And he apologized.
Wow.
And we've been divorced 4.5 years.
Wow. Oh, my God. See, that's the best part about that. When a person can ask for forgiveness, it does so much to the heart.
Yes. Yes.
It really does. And it's not really for that other person. It's for self. You know, because even though the person that hurt me, my ex, he has yet to apologize, you know, to repent, whatever. But it's okay because that's for him and between him and his God. But I'm well, as long as I forgave him in my heart.
Exactly.
That's what this heart here. You know, I gotta be able. I can't go and pour out into other people, and I have envious and hatred in this heart. No, I can't do that. There's got to be a clean heart.
Load off of
the
you.
Word says, yes. The Word says, create me a clean heart and renew the right spirit. So when I talk about voices of virtue, that has to be a right spirit behind that. You can't go out there and get this world, this atmosphere intoxicated that's coming out of an unclean temple. No, that ain't godly. No, that's witchcraft. So I can't do that. No, it has to come out of pure love with a forgiving heart. And I thank God for you saying that to the people. We receive that. Remember that communication is so important. Don't take nothing. Yes. Don't assume nothing. Talk. Communicate. And before we get we want to touch on your businesses and how the public can reach out to you for your services, Ms. Lisa. We want to tap on them right now. And while you're telling the public about your businesses, we want you to tell them how to reach you, to contact you. So y'all get your pen, pads ready, your tablets, your phone, where you can take the information down. Because guess what? We all need those type of services at some point in our life. And what she has to offer. We have grandchildren, children, need the books, decorating service. We all going to need that at some point, sometime. So please, Ms. Lisa, and we just thank God for you today. Oh, we thank you so much for you just pouring out into us. So give the public your information about your businesses and your contacts.
Okay, well, my daughter, it's L&J Expressions. Like I said, we kind of, with the decorating, we slacked up on it, but our thing is empowering people. That's what we want to do. We want to start reaching more young people now. Oh, everybody, but, more so young. So with her, with me, that's what we do. She even have a book. It's Pearls Empowerment. And you can order it off of Amazon or off of our website at ljexpressions.com. Also, yes, me and my little grandson wrote a book together, and it's called Cold-Blooded Kids. And how Cold-Blooded Kids came about is because that's a word that he always used, and I just took it and made a logo out of it. And I changed the C to a K, and then cold. Wow. And we wrote a book, and it's ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, and colors. So, and also you can find that on ljexpressions.com. We have shirts, And we have, the thing about it is I come up and create church like this is one of my favorite ones, out of love. So I took the word love and I created a shirt and it's let our voices empower.
Oh,
that's my definition of love.
Oh.
Let our voices empower.
Wow.
And it's on the website. Yes. It's several that we have. People do different things with, like, the boss. I created a boss for the ladies, we'll set them with all of the other negative stuff on there. But mine is beautiful, outgoing, sophisticated sister. That's what my boss stands for. I done.
Wow,
a boss
I love
for a boss for my little grandson, and his boss stands for Born to Overcome Stereotypes and Statistics.
Wow.
So, yes,
that is awesome.
And then I have another one for the swag. You know how a lot of people talk about their swag. So my grandson is smart with a grind, and for the ladies, it's sexy with a grind. So that's what their swag stands for.
Wow, I love it. Oh, wow. We got to put your
we
product.
have a few.
I know Simone is getting you branded. Help you're already branded, but getting you branded even more, because guess what? He wants us to go from glory to glory to glory. Don't just stay in one place. So guess what? However way I can help you, the Voice of Virtue, my show should be going on the Now Network in about 2 weeks. I'll be having episodes. I'll be elated to have you on there to get it out there. That is awesome. Oh, my God.
And we have
those acronyms. That's nothing but those acronyms.
And that's the thing. I have a few. To be honest, that's like some of just my favorite ones, and it started just coming to me like 2 years ago. Then I took with my grandson, the Cold-Blooded Kids. That's his logo. So I even made for him, I'm one cold-blooded kid, and he even have that in puzzles. He have his book in puzzles. So all that is embedded on a puzzle, for kids. Yes.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. And see, it reaches everyone. The adults, the service reaches adults, the kids. It's like a family-oriented. Family. That's pure love. Love conquers all. Love never fails.
Yeah, I'm working on something now. It is a product. And I'm not going to say if all goes, I'm just going to say when. My goal is to come out with it at least the beginning of the year.
Wow.
I'm just working on it now. A product that me and my daughter has come up with.
And all is well. All is well.
Yeah, exactly. All is well. That's why I say I had to learn at one time to change my definition, change the way I talk, and all of us do that. But I'm not going to say if, it's when.
This time is so well spent. You gave us some productive, profound information on today, and I know it helped many people. It helped me. And we want to thank you again for being on here today. Thank all of you for listening. We thank Rebirth PR Media. We thank Shadows World Radio for making all of this possible. And again, to you, Miss Lisa Nixon, thank you all so much. And with that being said, we want you all to stay tuned and know that because of Voices of Virtue, we want you to be encouraged. Know your identity. Work in authority. Stand in integrity. Because of virtue, there is no one to be and no one to do or better you. Thank you for tuning in for Voices of Virtue. We love you.
Voices of Virtue.
This show is brought to you by Rebirth Radio.
Voices of Virtue.